Welcome back. Quarantined Algebra, day 4. We're doing this. Unprecedented times, uncharted waters. All right, we are factoring polynomials. Factor is what we need to do here. So in this case, we're looking and we're just trying to find out what can we pull out of a parentheses. Again, think opposite of distribution when there's just the two terms, all right? A binomial. Spent a lot of time with the trinomials today, but the binomials we have to be able to do as well. So there's numbers and there's x's. If you want to start off a little bit easier, you could start with the x's. Okay, I think this is a little easier. Is there an x in both terms? Yes. So I know an x is going to come out. But how many of them? Just one. Okay, because there's one x here. There's two x's here, two x's being multiplied, the factor of x and x, but this just has one of them. So that's the largest amount of x's that are in both terms that we can pull out here. Okay, what about the numbers? 18 and 30. What's the greatest common factor there? 2. I know 2 goes into both. Okay, can we find something larger? 3 goes into 18 and 30. 4, no, not in either. 5, no, yes, but no. 6, okay, 6, I mean, 3 and 2 both went in, so maybe it makes sense. Those factors would come together to create 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 9 went in here. Yeah, it is going to be 6. 6 is what we pull out here. You can do a factor tree if you want. All right, so we're going to divide these by 6x now. As far as the numbers go, 18 divided by 6 is 3. X squared divided by x is just x. Again, if it helps, think about distributing back in 18x squared. And then right here, minus sign will be there. Negative sign will be there. Divided by 6, that's 5. X divided by x, that's just it. Boom. Done with that one. I didn't really give much of an intro, so I should do that now. I really do appreciate people are doing work. I see a lot of people doing a lot of work on the IXL and the other problems that I'm giving you. Yeah, let's just get on. Let's watch these videos. Let's check out the notes. I have notes now for this topic. And most importantly, email. Email me questions. If hopefully I can help through the email, but I know that doesn't always work. So if we need to, we can set up a time to do a video conference. Google Meet is something that I've done with some students, and I know some other teachers are doing it as well. So we've got some ways to get this stuff figured out. I know this is not easy, and factoring this stuff, this is tricky for sure. It's gonna get a little trickier. All right, so please ask questions. I'm here to help. All right, so on this one, I'm all about the FOIL and breaking apart into the two different parentheses, but we could look at it with the box method here, okay? So a lot of people were liking doing the box method when we were going from the parentheses to this trinomial, 3 terms put together like this, trinomial. So maybe this would help, all right? We know there's gonna be x's here, okay? And actually, before I do that, I might want to put these things into place. I know there's going to be an x squared. Boom. I know there's going to be a negative 8. Boom. It's all about this middle term where it gets a little bit tricky, where we're going to have 2 terms that are getting combined to make it. So that requires a different color, brown. Here we go. Okay, so I need to have 2 numbers that multiply together to make negative 8, but then add together to make negative 7. All right, and it does help. I was doing it over here, writing the factors, but we could write the factors over here if you want to try out the box method. Factors. Factors of negative 8. With that negative sign, it does make it a little bit trickier. 8 and 1, but we need to make one of them negative. I can even rewrite that again with the negative here. All right, 2 and 4. Let's make the first one negative. 2 and 4. Let's make the second one negative. Okay. So let's see here. We could just start plugging these different things in and seeing what works. But basically, we need to get 2 terms here that when they add together, they create a negative 7. So we're really just thinking about adding these two together now. If we add these two together, negative 8, positive 1, positive 8, negative 1, negative 2, positive 4, positive 2, negative 4. Which one is it? It's actually the very first one I wrote down. So negative 8. Let's do that. Let's put, I want to put that over here. It just looks a little bit nicer. X minus 8 over here. X plus 1 over here. Yeah, we knew that they were going to multiply to make a negative 8 because they were factors of it. We know the x's would work over here. But then notice what happens. 1 times x is 1x. And negative 8 times x is negative 8x. So when we bring these together, it is going to get us what we want. It is going to add to negative 7x over here. So my answer, and I have stuff all over the place. You gotta go back and think, wait, what is the answer? I was factoring. Think of factors as some things that are multiplying together to make something else. Parentheses shows two things getting multiplied together. X plus 1, x minus 8. You could FOIL these together to see that we get this, or do the box method to see that we get this. We already did the box method, so that's nice. On these, I know I was doing the IXL, and some mistakes that I personally was making. Well, first off, on the IXL, it's putting the wrong letters in, trying to go a little bit too quickly, so you gotta be careful with that. But then also, a little tip, when you're doing these problems on your paper, it helps to just set up the answer. Get as much of the answer done as you can. We know there's going to be parentheses. We know there's going to be some X's in there. Oh yeah, and these are all problems that you're supposed to do for your homework. So we're checking the homework. Yeah. If I said that before, I know I didn't. But this next one, last one on the homework, is a bit tricky. 2x squared. Maybe you didn't do the homework. You're like, oh my gosh, I didn't do the homework. That's okay. You're checking it out right now, okay? We're trying to get this stuff figured out, and the homework is just how we practice, all right? Practicing those skills, making sure that we're still focused on algebra. All right, so for this one, I'm not going to do the box method. I don't want to do that. I want to set up my factors like I did in the notes yesterday, the Google slide type notes, okay? So factors, right here, we've got 2 and 1, okay? That's not so bad. 2 and 1. Over here with the 7, we've got factors, and 1 and 7, okay? I'm going to write that this way, 7 and 1. As long as I set this one up with the 2 first, in the first parentheses and the 1 in the second parentheses, I can keep it like that, but I might have to switch my 1 and my 7. Now, one of the main tricky things with this, and so much of math, is just visually, like seeing things come into place. So remembering that these are the factors that multiply to make the 2x squared. So they're like the firsts. Okay? They're like the firsts in both parentheses. And again, let's think FOIL. FOIL is going to help us out here. FOIL. I know I'm going to have an X here and X here. First, outer, inner, last. These are the two numbers that would multiply to make 2x squared. So my first numbers, I'll have a 2 and a 1. I don't really need that there. And over here for my lasts, it's 1 and a 7, or a 7 and a 1. So don't have to worry about negative signs. But I do need to be focused on the outer and the inner. Okay? The outer and the inner. The outer multiplies, the inner multiplies, but then they add to equal positive 15. That's what we're hoping to get. And of course, for some people, this is going to click in a lot easier. For some people, it's going to take a little bit more practice. So let's just try some things right here. You know what? Now that I'm looking at this, I think I'm going to try the second ones right here. Plus 7, and plus 1. What do we get? Some people write it like this with the arrows. What do we get when we multiply these? Oh, that's 2x. Down here, 7x. If we add those together, do we get 15x? No. Okay. That didn't work. They add to make 9x. I think on the notes yesterday I had them both down here. We've got to get the idea that wherever we see it, the outer plus the inner should make this middle term. So this didn't work. I picked that one on a reason. I picked that one for a reason so that we could see something go wrong right there. So I'm going to move these. I'm hoping it's this one. Let's have the 1 come first and then the 7. What do we get when we do the outer and the inner? The outer multiplies 2 times 7 gets 14. Okay, we're getting closer to that 15x. I've got a good feeling here. And this is 1x. So yes, we could do the full FOIL thing and see that the firsts give us 2x squared. The outer gives us 14x. The inner gives us 1x. And the lasts gives us 7. Putting it all together, notice those are staying the same. It's really this middle. It's a little funky. Putting it all together, we would see that all this stuff did FOIL to create this up here. We get rid of a little bit of the confusion maybe and just remind us that it's this right here. That is our answer. And I know this is tricky stuff. My explanation could be tricky for sure. Let's make sure, like I said, that we are emailing, asking questions, going over the notes. All right. We have one more, a new type that I'm going to show you guys right now. And it's going to look like this last one. But I think you'll see it's not too bad. Okay. So what will we have? If we've got 3, 15, and a 12, 3x squared. What did I say? 15x. That's an x. Plus 12. Okay, on this one, we're like, okay, it's going to be 3s. They multiply to make 3, multiply to make 12, and then somehow multiply by each other and add to make 15. It's not going to be as tricky because we should notice something with these numbers right here. We are factoring. Oh, I erased it, but we are factoring. So factor really means see if we can pull any numbers out. So the first thing actually we should do on this is see that 3 goes into all 3 of these. So let's put a 3 here and a parentheses and see what the numbers would be if we divide everything by 3. So this is x squared plus 5x plus 4. That's a lot easier to work with. The 3 is going to stay there. It's not gone. It's still a factor of this. It's going to be 3 times 2 funky looking parentheses. All right. I'm going to keep that 3. All right. And right here, let's see. I'm going to put my factors and my sum. All right. On the other one that looked like this, I did the box method, so I didn't write it out like this. Yeah, how about I go like this? I'll skip down. I know 3 is going to be a factor. The factors of 4, though, just 4 by itself. 1 and 4, and 2 and 2. I don't need to worry about like doing 4 and 1 because we don't have a term over here now. This is not a situation where we have a coefficient in front of the x squared like we thought we did. All right, there's just a 1, so we don't have to worry about the numbers multiplying to make this. It's just going to be 1 and 1. All right, so we're really looking here and we're trying to figure out which of these adds to 5. I think we got this. And again, it was my first choice. Luckily, okay, I got 5. I add these together and I get 4. This is not it. This is it. Like always, we gotta, like a lot of times in math, we gotta go back through and sift through and see like, okay, what does that mean? Where are my important pieces? What is the answer? So, I could have had this set up already. I got my x's, my plus signs, no negatives. plus signs, make that x a little bit better. It's just going to be 1 and 4. To double check, we could do a FOIL, okay, and then multiply by 3, and we would see that it's this. Please email me any of your questions on this. Basically, it's easier than the last one, I think, because we're pulling out the number that makes these numbers larger and trickier. We divided everything by 3 and got this easier to work with trinomial. So yeah, email, and let's just get some work done. This is, like I said, unprecedented. What's going on? A little uncertain with, you know, what it's going to look like after spring break, what schooling is going to look like after spring break. But maybe this is really your opportunity. Like I would always say, you know, prove that you can handle the responsibility in this class and you can get more freedoms in this class, you know. But whether you're in the classroom or on your computer, prove that you can get this stuff figured out. You can use the resources available to you. Like I said, email, the notes, the videos, other resources online. There's, you know, an infinite number of resources. The Google Meet. Prove that you can do what you have to do to get this stuff figured out, and you will have more freedom in how you learn this stuff, okay? Good luck on this. I am rambling now. Let's get to the IXL and emailing me questions. Good luck.